Do you know what's more impressive than my guns? Breaking Bad, the TV show. But apparently, there's a pre-workout called Heisenberg. Not by Walter White himself. This comes off as one of those pre-workouts that has something special in it. It just makes you wonder, what's in it? Is it the crystal meth? Is it the blue candy that they use in the show? Or is it just the pre-workout with a bunch of stimulants? In this review, I'm gonna go over the ingredients and then I'll go over the experience. Because this pre-workout is different in terms of labeling. It's nothing really too special in terms of the branding. But when we look at this, we know who it is. Heisenberg. So I thought you couldn't just use, properties of TV shows on a supplement from a different company unless they have the rights. I just noticed the flavor says Captain Cook's Candy. This is definitely not approved by Breaking Bad and the production team. They have no idea this exists, I don't think, because this is a special looking pre-workout with that underground look to it, and it's by Androgen Factory. If you're looking for a unique experience, then this pre-workout might have you interested. Because this pre-workout has a formula that is quite unique in terms of some of the stimulants. So there isn't any DMHA in here. Let me go over the ingredients one by one. Beta-Alanine, 3.2 grams. We're gonna feel the tingles, to say the least. GlycerPump, this is good for that water retention pump, kind of like creatine, but it hits different. When you're taking both creatine and glycerol, you're maximizing your fullness to the next level. Glycerol just lasts for days at a time. Nitrosigine, another nitric oxide booster, 1.25 grams. They could have just added, 250 milligrams more and they would have met, the minimum, not the minimum, but the clinical dose of nitrosigine. But basically this nitric oxide booster increases nitric oxide through the arginine pathway, like citrulline, but it has some unique benefits as well. It can increase blood flow a little differently. When you're combining this with citrulline, you get like a synergistic effect of different nitric oxide boosters, but interestingly enough, there isn't any citrulline in here. But the good news is there is agmatine, and agmatine can help defend the nitric oxide levels from decreasing, leaving you with more nitric oxide levels throughout the day, making those pumps last longer. But tyrosine, 1 gram to increase the production of neurotransmitters that'll make you feel good and motivated. Caffeine Duo. This is basically a combination of 2 caffeine sources, caffeine hydrous and Infinergy. Infinergy is slower lasting, but in total there's 450 milligrams. We don't know how much of caffeine hydrous is in here, but I'm guessing there's like 50 to 100 milligrams of Infinergy based on the experience and based on what other pre-workouts would use. Then we have Beta-P, 400 milligrams. Beta-P is like Aage Arenis, but it's an inferior form with a shorter half-life. But the good news is there is Aage Arenis as well. Aage Arenis is 350 milligrams, a nice dose right there. It's not the biggest dose we've seen or I've seen, but it is a nice dose. Nonetheless, it's a nice dose. 200 milligrams of Noraveline. Noraveline is an amino acid, highly underrated when it comes to nitric oxide boosters because we rarely see this ingredient in pre-workouts. It used to be found way more in pre-workouts, but these days it's rare. It's rare to see it, but it's a nice ingredient to have for nitric oxide production. S7, another nitric oxide booster, 100 milligrams. So a nice nitric oxide booster. I mean, it's like that uses different compounds from different extracts and you're gonna get a nice pump from S7. I always have good experiences with this nitric oxide booster. Ephedra. Okay, so ephedra is known to be a plant, and in this plant there's many compounds, and one of those compounds are known to be ephedrine, but ephedrine is not allowed to be in supplements. It's not sold in supplements. If you want to get it, depending on what country you're in, you have to get it over the counter, and it's usually used to treat asthma, something with breathing, and it opens up the airways basically, but it also has other effects that are kind of like caffeine. It can increase heart rate, increase fat burning, but ephedra doesn't have any ephedrine, but ephedrine is usually not in supplements. So ephedra is just like a whole plant without that compound, or it's just found in very small doses. It won't have that big of an impact on yourself. But it's interesting because the experience is a little different. Synephrine, 65 milligrams. Synephrine creates like urgency. It's a fat burning ingredient and creates like a jittery, anxious feeling in terms of energy. But sometimes the experience can be different just depending on what the other ingredients are. But when it's especially combined with yohimbine, the jitteriness and anxiety really builds up. But then we have estrogen to help you absorb all the ingredients together to make everything more bioavailable. And huperzine to increase focus. Huperzine is fantastic because it can inhibit the enzyme from breaking down acetylcholine, which is like the neurotransmitter responsible for concentration, focus, and learning. But not thankfully, there isn't any choline-based ingredient. So usually with huperzine, there's some sort of choline combined with it because it creates a synergetic effect of having more focus while reducing that enzyme and inhibiting it from breaking down the acetylcholine that's increased that you have in your body. So when you have more acetylcholine produced, huperzine can defend those levels from decreasing, but no choline. Interestingly enough, but if you're getting choline from your diet, huperzine will still have an effect, and you can get choline from eggs and stuff. But interesting enough, there isn't any citrulline, but yet it still has 15 grams per serving, 20 full servings. Pumps, strength, energy, euphoria. All right, I am the one who knocks. They even put that slogan there. Man, this is, I don't know if the Breaking Bad, I don't know if they can. Like, can they do this? Like, it's not like a pre-workout company can take Spider-Man or Batman and Superman or anything like that and put it on their design. So I'm not sure how that works. I thought this is copyright. How is the experience? So this experience is totally different than what I expected. But I was hoping for something interesting because it has ephedra, so I was like, maybe there's something interesting in here. So within 10 minutes of taking this, the energy increases and there's like a warmth building up, but it's not in the body, it's more like in the mind, and it's like an uplifting warmth, or like a ball of warmth kind of thing building up, and it's not hot. It doesn't feel thermogenic, it just feels warm. It feels uplifting, the warmth. And with that comes the energy, and within half an hour, I would say the peak hits. The peak hits, and then it's not urgent. It's energetic and it's warm. It's mentally warm. It's not thermogenic warm. It's not sweating. It's not cold sweats or anything like that. And when I get to the gym though, it's really interesting because I am not a talkative person, but when I'm taking this, I am talking non-stop. Not non-stop, but I am talking way more on this, and I have taken way more caffeine than this. I've taken way more stimulants than this, but this is a unique way of increasing my, I don't want to say euphoria, but my willingness to talk. I would say anything, right? I would talk and I would be in the gym, I would be working out, and the focus is there, but the energy and the talkative energy is there, and the pumps. But it's definitely not an urgent type of pre-workout. It's a very high energy. I don't want to say it's limitless when it comes to energy, but it's interesting because it is euphoric, it's uplifting, I'm in a good mood, I'm motivated. At the same time, I'm talkative, warm, and social. And it's just a very, like, if I could sum it up in like 3 or 2 major features about this pre-workout, it would be the energy, which is surprising, and it's long lasting. It's not like it hits and it spikes and it comes back down quickly. It lasts for hours. It's high energy. It's high energy. So when it hits, it goes in a line like this, not straight up. It's not like whoop, whoop. It's more like this. The energy is long lasting, and I don't feel the calm down as much. I don't feel the crash, and then it's just smooth sailing. It's not smooth, but it's high energy sailing, if that makes sense. And the pumps as well is nice. It's there. The pumps are there, and it's definitely a nice combination of pumps and nitric oxide boosters, and the fullness as well. I get the nice fullness from the GlycerPump, but I would say the energy is warm and it's high and it's long lasting. And it's not strong where it's like my heart is pounding. It's strong as in it's high energy, but it's like sustainable. It feels sustainable. But it's surprising because I'm more talkative. I'm way more talkative. It's like if you don't drink coffee for a long time, you drink coffee and then you're all of a sudden you're talkative, right? And I've taken all kinds of pre-workouts. Even like this has been sitting in my stack for a while, and I was thinking this can't be anything special. It has ephedra. We all know ephedrine, the compound that actually has those effects for fat burning, can't be in here, I don't think. But I think it's the P and the Aage Arenis. It's the combination of those stimulants that creates this warm, nice mood uplift. But I've taken pre-workouts with these two stimulants, and it's not like this. It's not high energy and it's not long lasting. I would say this is just different in the experience. I would say that this is worth it if you're looking for something different, because I don't think it's like the other pre-workouts. And I have taken ephedrine before. I've taken that before, and it's a very hard, dirty energy feeling, and it doesn't feel anything like this. So it's not like I'm suspecting there's ephedrine in here, but the warm, high energy and the pumps are there, but the warm, high energy is what I would sum this up. This experience is very interesting. It's very hard to describe in words, but it's definitely one of those that I would want to keep for myself, that I would want to use. I wouldn't say on occasion, because it doesn't feel that strong, but at the same time, it's strong, but I can handle it. And there isn't any side effects, which is interesting, because the more you get from your pre-workout, the more side effects, the more crashes, the more jitteriness, anxiety. But I'm not getting those things. Maybe it's the nitric oxide boosters that's helping the vasodilation, because when you have high stimulants, you get that vasoconstriction happening, which means your vessels get smaller, and that can increase, that can elevate blood pressure, that can cause heart problems. But having nitric oxide boosters with your dirty stimulants will help smooth out the side effects. And I think that's what's happening here. Maybe, theoretically, it's a very nice, I don't want to say smooth, it's very high energy. And it's definitely one I would keep taking. I don't want to say there's different scenarios you can take this with outside the gym. Like I was going to say, you can take this at the club or something. You're going out for a night and you want something that's high energy but doesn't cause any like jitters or anything crazy, maybe. But just use this for your workouts. I think this is perfect. I don't know what's up with the labeling and the Heisenberg thing, but the experience is nice. And this is one of those pre-workouts that surprised me. It took me by surprise. It's nothing like I expected, because I've taken pre-workouts like this before. Of course, usually I've never seen ephedra in pre-workouts, maybe once or twice, because it's usually there just to be like, hey, there's ephedra in here. I am the one who knocks, says the label. But surprising pre-workout. If you want to get this, you can get that from the link below. You can use my coupon code FITFRIC. And of course, if you want to see programs, guides, resources, lists as well, fitfric.com. I have the best content on the World Wide Web. I'm interested to hear what you think of this. I was on Reddit the other day and I did see a comment that was like, oh, I didn't feel anything from this pre-workout, like you're talking about Heisenberg. And then the other comments were like, wow, this one hit me by surprise. There's a ton of energy. So of course, and I don't know how many people may not have a good reaction to this, or they may not feel it as much as I did, but that's common with all pre-workouts. Not all pre-workouts are the same for everyone. Your brain chemistry, everything is different for everyone, but usually I think the majority of people will enjoy this one. And if you have used this, let me know how your experience was in the comments. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear what you think of this. And if you do try this, let me know. I'm always checking the comments, and yeah, I appreciate it. Really appreciate you watching this. Thank you so much.